the problem with a lot of people, including me back then when I was less mature, is that you will put the blame on external factors like an economic crisis. But the truth is, are there people who thrive during economic crisis? Absolutely. Basically, when we get wiped out in situation like this, right, it simply means that life is teaching us a lesson. Until you learn from the lesson, you will keep facing the same issue over and over again. Right. So to me back then, after on hindsight, when I look back in my late 20s, I realized that the issue wasn't the crisis. The issue was with my lack of financial discipline, my lack of risk management, and my lack in my business maturity. Right. So I would say that that crisis was a wake-up call.
Welcome to our Modern Wealth podcast, where we aim to empower, enrich, and evolve your lives. Today we have a very, very special guest, a guest who I haven't met in many years, probably 6-7 years already, right? But
I think around there, yes.
Yeah, probably around there. But he's a very, he's a guy who I bought his book. The Referral Revolution, right?
Goodness.
The Referral Revolution, many
Right.
years ago. I still have it in my, bookcase. Yesterday I was just flipping through and actually reading it, bro.
Oh,
right? And it was
you.
something that really helped me when I was starting out my business.
Wow.
Right? Seriously, right? So when I first started out my business, I grew everything organically, right? And a lot of the principles actually applied from the Referral Revolution,
Thank you.
right? Which is, as in you really made an impact in my life. But anyways, the guest today, his name is Chris Chan. He's, he's built an 8-figure business, right? He went through multiple struggles to build a very, very successful wealth consulting group as well. So today we're going to go and dive deep into his stories, into how he overcame multiple challenges in his life to get to where he is today, where he is, financially retired, almost, 8 years ago, right? And again, he's going to be sharing some absolutely amazing tips that the rich will not tell you, right? And today we're going to dive deep into that. Welcome, Chris. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.
Dude, it's been such a long time.
Exactly. When I was so looking forward to when I heard that we were connected again. Then I wanted to catch up with you. There's so much I can learn from you as well. And I wanted
likewise, both ways. Most for now I've done most of the learning from you, bro. Right?
No. It's mutual. It's mutual.
Awesome.
That's not what you were saying about going through multiple peaks and valleys. Wow, my tears almost start to roll. Yeah. When you look back, it can be quite fun. But going through it, you've been through a lot of up and downs yourself.
Absolutely.
In your life. Going through it, there's never been easy.
Yeah.
It can be very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
So,
crazy is, but life is, that's what makes life, right? That's what makes life.
Exactly.
Right?
A lot
The
of people
peaks,
ask,
the valleys.
why me? I said, why not? Right? Sometimes when you look
Absolutely. Why me? Why not? Wow, I love the mindset. Dude, let's dig deeper, okay, bro. I don't mind. We're gonna get deeper. If tears flow, so be it, But let's talk about. I know your entire journey in entrepreneurship started very early, right? Like in your early late teens, 20s.
My first deal was at 9-year-old.
Wow.
I started selling Christmas cards for church at 8-year-old. So the entrepreneur part begins with selling, right? If you can't sell, there's no business.
Yep.
Right, of course, marketing is a part of selling these days, right?
Yes.
Right. So I started selling Christmas cards for the church, and after that, next year there's no more fundraising activity. So I said, why don't I sell it for myself? Yeah. So I went to the shop opposite me at Ang Mo Kio, opposite is Block 252. And I went to the shop owner and said, look, can you entrust me with maybe 20 cards? I go and sell and I make money, I pay you back. Later I know it's called consignment.
Wow.
So I started from there, and after that I started to look for toys to sell to my friends. Wow. And
Was it something that your parents encouraged you to do, or it just came naturally?
Not at all. Number one, I love fun.
Okay.
Right? So till today I still fun loving.
Yeah.
So I just did it because I enjoyed it, and I thought I can make some money. Why not, right? Because I came from a poor family, so obviously every $20-30 back then mattered to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very recently I was reading this book called The Power of Being Broke.
Oh, really?
All right, The Power of Being Broke. And it touches on the concept of how when you're broke and when your back is against the wall, You have no choice but to go and hustle and go and do, right?
Yes.
So like, the author reframed the whole thing. A lot of people say, oh, I'm broke lah. But actually, he reframed it to actually say that actually being broke is your greatest asset, no?
Yeah.
Because you have no choice but to actually succeed. So the power of being broke, right?
I love that.
Yeah, and that really is a powerful reframe, right? And that's exactly right. Like your story was, you didn't have a lot of money growing up. You didn't see a lot of money. You were from, a very, very, average family. And, hey, what do I have to lose? I have to go and sell. I have to make some money lah. Got to make it work, what?
It's true. The key is to be broke but not broken.
Yes. Wow. That's very.
That will inspire me to write the next book.
Wow. The
True,
power of
right?
being broke but not broken, right?
Mm.
If you're broken in spirit, that's where, dude, right?
Yeah, that's why I always say guard the heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's key.
Yeah, guarding the
Yeah.
heart is key, right?
Yeah.
Wow, sorry, that was such a brilliant piece, right? Absolutely. If you gotta cut that out and put that into a reel, right? Like for real, that is so powerful. The power of being broke but not broken.
Yes.
So incredible, right? But it's true, right? So again, whether you are again the power of being broke, but if it's broke just in your wallet, but again, if you're broke in your mind, that's the end.
That's why it's so
Right.
important to surround ourselves with the right friends.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to have a lot of friends, but they'll have that few that will
Mm.
accept you no matter where you are. They don't they judge you based on your character, not by the money in your pocket.
Absolutely.
And those people are key. They're the
Mm.
pillars that can help us go through the darkest moment in our life.
Absolutely.
yeah.
So true. The environment, everything, so important. So again, you started off, learning how to sell, right? I think that's the fundamental to everything, right? Learning how to sell, present yourself, getting rejected, bopin, right? You have to get
Yeah.
rejected and all that. So you learn that skill set. Then, you got to your teens, and then financial crisis happened. Right? I think that was during the 1990s period, right?
1998.
Yeah,
Asian
1998
financial crisis.
Asian financial crisis.
Yes,
So
yes.
that was, I don't know, was that like your first kind of really big pull down?
I would say yes, because back then at the 21-year-old, together with a business partner, we grew a business, trading computer parts back in Silim Square. So we did about 1.6 million revenue
Wow.
back then with like only 3%, right? My boss, me, all right, and he comes out with the business and the money. I come out with my grit and my energy. We hire a support staff, and that's it. And the revenue was decent, but the margin was thin. And there's no really significant value add other than buying wholesale and breaking it into small part and selling with credit terms, right?
I see.
So some people buy because of price, some people buy because of the credit terms. So there's not a lot of value add. And eventually when the Asian financial crisis came, people couldn't pay us and we were wiped out.
I see.
Yeah.
People couldn't pay you, as in the customers were not buying?
Correct. Those who bought from us with credit, they will sell for cash. For those of you listening in, those days when you went to Silim Square, they will be distributing like price lists to you where people will go there to buy parts, assemble their own computer. Yeah. So my customers are the retailers. All right, and many of them they'll make fast money. They'll buy expensive cars. They'll go to the clubs and bars, and all that. They spend their money without any financial discipline, right? So when the crisis came, they couldn't pay me, and obviously I need to pay others, right? So that was my first challenge that I went through, and at that moment I was lost, but thankfully the insurance industry found me. All right. The reason why I said the insurance industry found me because I never looked for it.
I see.
Yeah, sometimes it's amazing. Sometimes you seek for a path. Sometimes the path will come knocking at your door, right? And I took the opportunity and I had a hard time initially, but eventually it was from insurance that I discovered my passion for financial planning. All right, and when I saw the difference, I new identity as a professional. From that's where my career started to pick up. Before that, I was struggling as an insurance agent. I wasn't proud of myself. I didn't like what I was doing, going door knocking at the street, asking for business. My friends will avoid me.
Yeah. All the traditional, all the things why people don't want to do it, right?
Yeah.
But bro, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Right. So this is something that I really genuinely want to know, right? What did that crash teach you, right? Because when we talk about financial crisis, I hear a lot of people who had their wealth wiped out. I know of people who had to end their lives and whatever not because it's absolutely tragic whatever happened back then in Malaysia and Singapore and stuff like that, right? So
or the club share those days.
Yeah,
a lot of people were wiped out.
yeah, literally wiped out, right? Going through that yourself, right? Like you went through that failure in that business. What were maybe some key lessons you took away from having gone through such a magnitude of a crash?
I think the problem is a lot of people, including me back then when I was less mature, is that you will put the blame on external factors like an economic crisis. But the truth is, are there people who thrive during economic crisis? Absolutely, right? So it's nothing to do with the crisis, all right? It's everything to do with the, basically when we get wiped out in situation like this, right? It simply means that life is teaching us a lesson. Until you learn from the lesson, you will keep facing the same issue over and over again, right? So to me back then, after on hindsight, when I look back in my late 20s, I realized that the issue wasn't the crisis. The issue was with my lack of financial discipline, my lack of risk management, and my lack in my business maturity. Right, so I would say that that crisis was a wake-up call to pick up knowledge. Before that, I wasn't interested in reading, upgrading myself. I just depend on my Chinese. They're saying like there's little street smartness, but there's no big wisdom. Right, so I only depend on selling to get me through. But I realized that selling alone wasn't enough. Skill wasn't enough without knowledge. So that's why I started reading hundreds of books on finance, on marketing, on properties, stocks, options, you name it lah. Right? So anything that can help me make a more well-informed decision, help me to be able to learn more. I always say that the more you learn, the better you learn, and the better you learn, the more you learn. Right? It's like you can put Warren Buffett in front of most people, and they won't be able to make full use of that meeting because they don't know what kind of question to ask. Right, so learning to ask good questions, in my view, is key, and that's what education is about. The ability to ask good questions, the ability to think better, and I think that was the biggest takeaway for me was introduce me to the importance of self-development, and what I have today, I think is a product of that. I think many of us.
Can I ask you what was your first? Because I remember mine very clearly. What was your first introduction to self-development? Was there a particular book, a program, or something that really helped you? Top program in your life, brother. Was
Wow. Yeah, so all of us have our own, right? Yeah. So for mine, it started off with a internal training. It's NLP based. Okay. Within the company, there was a company in Malaysia that was hired by the insurance company that I was working with, and went there with a skeptical mind as usual. After 43 days, I know the kind of response we have from the participants, like, wow, this is more valuable than a degree, Wow. So I started from there. Then after that, when I pick up the books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, when I went for Anthony Robbins, Unleash the Power Within, so it all builds up. I see. Yeah, I cannot say that each of them have played a certain role, right? Because it's like reading the Bible or the Quran, right? It's like you can read the same message, right? But you get different message. Called Rhema word, right? The word speak to you because of your conditioning, of your situation. And I would say that every one of these courses, right, have impacted me in different ways. Yeah. So it started from there, actually.
I see a very common theme of, successful people like yourself talking to me about neuro-linguistic programming.
Yes.
Right. And I think that's something that is very, very important, right? A lot of what Tony Robbins teaches is all, neuro-linguistic programming.
Yes,
right?
Okay.
If you can just share with the audience a little bit about what is NLP and, what were some of the key points that you got out of this NLP kind of training.
Right. Anyway, I want to say that I'm not qualified to talk about NLP,
Sure.
but as someone who have gone through some of the training and have been applying the principle, in simplicity, right, it's a form of applied psychology based on consumer behavior. All right, and to me, it's about knowing yourself better, being able to manage your thoughts that impact your emotions, your ability to communicate effectively based on body language, based on tonality, your voice, to have more influence over people. Right, I would say that if you use it with a good intention, it's called influence. If you use it with an evil intention, it's called manipulation. Right? So like fire can heal, it can kill also, same. It's all about the intention. So I would say that it's important the school of applied psychology that has been coined by somebody that has been working effectively for a lot of people. Yeah.
I just want to share something. I think that a lot of the, how far we go in our lives is really dependent on the caps that we put on our own minds.
It's true.
Right? And sometimes, learning about NLP, right? For me, learning about NLP and all that, helped me to uncap some of these things.
So are
right?
you also a practitioner?
I'm not a practitioner. I'm not, I'm not a NLP trained. As in,
Yeah.
I am trained in that sense, lah. Right, in what I do, but I'm not. I don't have a certification or whatever. In
Yeah,
that
same
sense.
here. I went there just to learn.
Yeah.
I just want the skill. That's it. I
Yeah.
don't care about certification.
Yeah, I didn't really, I'm not exactly certified, but it's very true. It just unlocks certain levels, right? There's always certain limitations put to our head.
Yes,
1
yes,
million,
yes, yes.
10 million, 800. Like it's all levels, lah, right?
Limiting beliefs, right? Overcoming
yeah,
the
it's
limiting
just
beliefs.
overcoming the limiting beliefs, right? And again,
That's
it's
right.
simple to say, but again, identifying them and finding out what happened in our youth that makes me think that I don't deserve money, I don't
Yes,
deserve
yes,
wealth.
yes,
Like
yes.
voila, I'm telling you, it's very
And that's
powerful,
one of the
man.
biggest stumbling block in most people's life.
Mm.
Even though, I mean, some people have a lot of head knowledge.
Mm.
Like you look at a lot of people talk about finance, like financial analysts, newscaster, anchor, but they can talk about a lot about finance, but they have no wealth
Yeah,
because they don't have a wealth mindset,
yeah.
right? So I think being highly aware is the first step. I think to unlocking our potential,
Yeah.
in order to understand where that limiting beliefs is, and I
Yeah.
think that's some of the most powerful gifts that that such education have given to a lot of
man.
us.
Dude,
Yeah.
for me personally, I'm a seminar junkie. I would assume like yourself.
Similar.
Similar.
Yeah.
Right, so I
I'm very
attended-
willing to invest.
Yeah, so I've invested, 6 figures,
Easy,
multiple,
easy.
on
Yeah.
different personal development programs. One of the most powerful ones for me, bro, it was
Mm.
this program I attended by Asia Works.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
So, one of the first programs, very simply, was on, again, stop, look, and, be aware of what's happening around you, right? Like,
Right.
what are my... Again, you don't do this in a normal setting, right? You go to work, and who talks
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
hey, wow,
Yeah.
what's my limiting beliefs and whatever. Just go to work, do your own thing, go to family. You don't really talk about these things.
Yes.
But it was a very, very, very interesting wake-up call, right? Like, when I
Mm.
actually attended the class, then, literally the whole idea was stop, look, put a mirror up to yourself, right? Like, what have you believed, right? Since you were a very young boy, what are your beliefs and how have they led you to who you are today?
Yes.
Right? Is it helping you? Is it, causing you to be stuck where you are? Right?
Mm.
So, wow, when I did that, it was, honestly speaking, it was absolutely insane, right, for me.
And how old were you when you attended this program?
I was 2013. I was about 19 years old, 19, 20 years old.
19. There you
Yeah.
go, right? A lot of people at your age back
Mm,
then,
mm.
they'll probably be partying,
Mm.
having the fun of their life,
Yeah.
and not many will actually plan for the future.
That's
They
true.
will probably think of their future maybe nearer to the end of their university days, right?
Sure.
Yeah, but at the age already, you decided to invest in such a course,
Mm,
and even if it costs like $1,000-$2,000,
Yep.
it's a lot of money
Yep.
for a teenager back
Yep.
then.
Yep.
So what led you to go for this program?
I was again at the age about 18, 19 for me personally.
Right.
I already very, very clearly knew that I didn't want to live the life of a normal
Mediocrity or
me-
average.
I didn't, mediocrity was never an option for me, right?
Yes.
So I already knew
Can
very
tell from
early
your
on.
body. Yeah.
So I knew very early on that I wanted to achieve excellence in whatever I did. Right? And
Beautiful.
I actually got that revelation, round about when I was 18, 19 years old, right?
Right.
And one of the things that every mentor was saying is, in the investment in yourself is the best investment, it's the best thing that can actually pay off. Right? So I really had this philosophy and this mindset of, I need to invest in myself, learn new skill sets. And most
Mm.
importantly, bro, a lot of people, they just focus on what can make them money, right? But at the end of the day,
Right.
what I realized is that sometimes you can learn the skills to make money, but if the capacity in your head is not unlocked, the money cannot flow in,
It's true.
You only can attract how much you can actually hold, right?
Yeah.
So, one of the things that I always work on, which I feel is very important, and this is something I work on every day, is really the mind, right? Like, really listening to sermons, listening to whatever else, right? Like, and really unlocking what I need to unlock here. Because,
Right.
I am not where I want to be even right now, right?
Right.
And again, what's the key to that? I need to unlock certain things here, right?
Mm.
There's still, limiting beliefs that I have at my current level, right?
Yes.
And it's
yes.
always about unlocking that. And when I can unlock these different levels in my mindset, then I believe that more can be attracted towards me.
It's true.
So I learned that at the very early age. I knew that I was stuck at where I was. So I decided let's go and try and see, and then let's see what happens.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
as fellow course designer, trainer, coach, people often come to us, right, to learn skills and methods to earn
Yeah.
more money.
Yes.
But I say, actually, what we truly teach is to help people become more valuable.
Yeah. Oh, so true, man. So
Right?
true.
When you're valuable, the money will come.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's wow, you gotta highlight that, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, how much you earn will be dependent on how valuable you are, right? To
Yeah,
the
in
people
the
around
mind,
you.
the heart, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yes,
So true, so true. So Chris, let's get back to yourself, right? So, you talked about how insurance found you, right? So what
Mm-hmm.
was your, initially door knocking, rejections and all that different things you didn't like, how you appeared. So what was that breakthrough, man? You are a titan in the industry. Now what led to that breakthrough?
I think the first thing first is that just like what you said earlier, right? You got to be uh, totally uncomfortable with your situation, right? I always believe in that. Always be grateful, but never be satisfied. So obviously, a lot of people, right? They say that rejection is a number game, or failure is a number game. Yeah, but your number sucks, right? I just don't like those numbers. So I say, look, so how can I improve the numbers?
Yeah,
Right, right. The business matrix, the numbers and ratios, right? Growth hacking required, right? So like, okay, look, then I go pick up books, attend courses, and to find answers, right? So I think the key to unlocking our potential first come from us being dissatisfied. And being dissatisfied is key to unlocking the desire within us. Until the desire is ignited, you can have all the courses around the world, you can have the best mentor sitting beside you and you won't use it. Right? Desire attracts resources. So it started from there. And when we have desire, what will happen is that the learning intensifies. Why? Because it will become insanely addicted to wanting to know more, wanting to become better. So we'll always like, for me, I have this ORD, right, framework, right? Observation, we will read, we will watch YouTube. Back then, no YouTube, right? We listen to cassette tape, my time,
Wow.
Yeah. So only at a certain generation, you know the relationship between a pencil and the cassette tape. It's the same battery. So then the books, the courses, talking to people, right? So after observation, then we do reflection. R, right? It's like, could I have done this better? What did I say that make the person turn the person on? What did I say to take the person off? And every time there's a learning lesson. I always believe that either you win or you learn. The more you learn, the more you win. Right, so that reflection mechanism, right, is unfortunately not embedded in most people's life. Yeah, so I think reflection is one of the most powerful way to learn. All right, how come you have a class, right? Same teacher, same material, you always have this number one and the last student in the class, because the way they process their learning is different, their application is different, the desire is different, right? So once you have reflective application learning, the third part is a discussion. How do you know that what you did is correct? All right, discuss with people who are better than us. All right, and from there we learn from each of these setbacks, these incident, situation, and I guess that's something that I discover is key to accelerated the growth. And that was, if you ask me, that was the key turning point for my life to become a lot better.
I see.
Yeah, until I discovered that how come the clients don't respond to this? How come people say no to me? Yeah, they're not saying no to me. They're saying no because I didn't know how to make them say yes.
I see.
Yeah.
So
Simple
how do you
enough.
figure out how to make them say yes?
If you look at the perspective of most salespeople, their mindset is that, look, I come to you with an idea that I have in hope to convince you that you need to buy this. It's almost like, if you look about those typical product selling or hard selling, right? It's like I take a size 7 leather shoe and go to everybody to convince you why you need this brown size 7 leather shoe. That's a typical approach in product selling, and a lot of people are still going that approach, right? And the second mindset they have is like the moment they see somebody, right, they want to prospect them.
I see.
Right? That's why insurance agents have this problem, right? And when the moment they give a name card to people, right, doesn't matter which logo it is, there's this sudden momentary facial spasm, right? Like awkward silence for like 2-3 seconds, isn't it? You're like, insurance, it's okay lah. If I got my own agent already. Oh, I got a lot of policies already. Prudential, I got many friends there. This is the standard objection, right?
Standard.
Standard. This is their consumer subtle way of telling the insurance guy, don't prospect me. And if you try harder, the harder you try, the worse it becomes. So the key is to have an attraction approach rather than a hunting approach.
I see.
right? But most people are not taught that, right?
Yeah.
It's like the moment I see somebody, oh, you must hustle, you must have this bulldog persistence, chase down the prospect. I think this is very 70s, 80s, the boiler room style.
So how would you attract then? How would you attract?
The key thing is to help people get what they want.
I see.
Yeah, the key thing is to become a partner of that person to get what he wants. Then why would he reject what he wants?
I see.
There's no rejection.
So it's about communicating with the person and finding out how I can actually achieve that person's goals.
That's right. So I always say that in the West, sales training, they always talk about elevator pitch. Elevator pitch, the problem with it is it speaks to the mind, it doesn't unlock the heart. It doesn't speak to the heart. So I designed this thing called a passion pitch. All right, it was inspired by a mentor a long time ago. He called it emo pitch, right? The emo pitch is supposed to talk to the heart. When you feed the mind, you touch the heart, the wallet opens.
Wow. So give me the passion pitch, bro.
Right. So a passion pitch, right? Typically when people ask you what do you do for a living, in the past people will tell you things like, oh, I'm with this company, or I'm doing engineering with for somebody, I'm doing financial planning. Right. The next level that you see there's an improved version of it on LinkedIn, like, oh, I help people to ... I empower others to ... This is a better version. But it's still logical, right? So in a passion pitch, there are basically 5 parts. The first part is to identify your target audience. Why? Because of this technique called relevance, the technique of relevance. When it's not relevant to me, you won't get my attention. So the moment you let's say you target a bunch of a Muslim business owner, right? They said, oh, I specialize in empowering Muslim business owner to, straight away, if it's relevant to me, you will get my attention. Right? Of course, those non-Muslim will not be attracted to it. So based on the person you talk to, you adjust that accordingly.
I see.
Second thing is called the potential outcome. People are not interested in your name, your title, your company, or how many staff, or how big you are. They're only interested in one thing and one thing only. Are you useful to me?
I see.
Sorry, the whole society has become like that. Are you useful to me? If you're not useful to me, don't waste my time. I'm not here for friendship. Because I don't have time for my own friends.
That's true.
So within the first 15, 20 seconds, we have to establish we are useful to that person. Hence, after you mention the target audience, the next thing is your potential outcome. Or help people to accelerate their path to creating 7-figure net worth. Or help people to build streams of passive income, ideally 10, 15 years earlier, regardless of market condition. So things like that, people are like, huh? Sounds good, right? Something that they want. Can meh? Regardless of market condition, there's some curiosity. So after you get the attention, you get the interest or curiosity. Then the third part is called their pain. People take action either based on inspiration or desperation.
Of course.
Right? So and desperation always works more. Right? The avoidance of pain, right? So that's when talk about their pain. Being a parent with kid, you know that being a parent is not easy in Singapore. Cost of living is high, you're busy at work, you reach home, you thought you can rest, you still got to worry about your kids, make sure they eat, they do homework. So the focus is not to sell, but to talk about their challenges, their frustration, their worries, their problems in a very light-hearted chit-chat manner. So as you do that with that person, the person like, true lah, what to do? There's this connection, right? And once you have the connection, that's the good start. Right from there, then you mentioned the target audience, you mentioned the potential outcome. Okay, something that I'm open to find out more. You talk about my pain. I think you understand me, but why should I trust you? Why should I work with you and you only? Which is step 4. You want to talk about your why. People don't care about what you do until they know how much you care, right? So it's not about your why. So that's where your story comes in, right? When I was growing up, I faced the same problem as you, blah, blah, blah. So you relate your story, your pain, your failure to success story to that person's struggle. Straight away, you will establish the authority, right? They will trust you, and they will now understand why you choose to help people like me to achieve this, to overcome that. I mean, most of us are trained in this. And finally, okay, I trust you, but there are also other good trainers, there are also good financial planners. Why should I work with you and you only, right? The last one is your unique how. So when you mention your unique how that no one else has, that's relevant to this particular market, then you're the natural person to go to. Then in the last part, end with a hook. Example, right? So I said that, And what I specialize in is to help people to unlock their dead assets.
I see.
Then what's on your mind right now when I say dead assets?
What's that?
There you go. So the key thing is not to tell or sell. The key is to lead and influence. To lead them to want to find out more. So when you don't have desire for my information, it's called spam. My job is to make you have desire for the information that I want to give anyway for free. Right? So the leading part is a skill that most people are not equipped. That's why they struggle in sales and marketing.
Bro, this is a bloody masterclass, bro.
No, but sharing.
I know, bro. This is a freaking masterclass, guys. Bro, you know one thing I just want to share right, is this. I just was listening, smiling, and just taking down notes, right? Bro, I tell you something. It's so amazing how this is. Like, you don't even need to think, right? It's just a flow, right? You literally
Unconscious competence.
Yeah, it's unconscious competence. Bro. It's really unconscious competence, guys. This is what excellence looks like. Right? When you are literally unconsciously competent. Again, if you do something so long, right, for extended period of time, you do something every single day, you literally become unconsciously competent. This is literally the example of that, right?
Just like you in your field, lah.
Sure. But in your, wow, dude, that's, but this applies to everybody, right? Regardless of whether you're an agent, whether, you're doing any form of business.
Solopreneur, business owner, coaches.
It applies to everything,
yeah.
bro. It applies to
it's
everything.
true.
That's why, I loved your Referral Revolution book. I've never been an agent, but it freaking works. Is that right? Like, how do you get people naturally want to refer, right? How do you get them to wow, bro. These are life principles, brother, right?
It's true. It is a portable skill, right?
Yeah, it's portable to anything in life. It's portable even to my children, right?
It's true.
It's so amazing, and I love how you're so it comes out. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know immediately what to say.
Frameworks,
for example.
well, like the most successful people. I mean, I believe you're someone who respect the late Charlie Munger.
Yes,
well.
absolutely.
So he's well known for his framework.
Yep.
Framework thinking, right? So everything we do, we use framework. And today with AI, I just have to copy a person's framework, and with the use of AI, I can become very intelligent, very resourceful, very quickly. Yeah. So I think today, the reason why we understudy a mentor or we go for a class is chances are we'll forget 80% of the content. That's the truth. But when it's experiential, we'll never forget the emotion.
Absolutely.
Just like your Asia work, just like Unleash the Power already, walking over that burning
Fire.
coal. It's not a party trick, right?
Yeah.
But it's all about the metaphor of overcoming your greatest fear.
Yeah.
And all these things stick to you for life. But more than that, that's something to help us clear our mental emotional hurdle. But to feed the mind, we use framework. Yeah, we study a person's framework. That's why you read a person's biography, etc. You don't study the person's philosophy, the principles, and you can apply that. You can have many form of application.
Wow. Yeah, it's so true, man. It's so true. Wow. Dude, I am loving this. I've got
In
so
fact,
many more.
you should allow me to one day to also interview you, also to pick your brains and also
More
learn
than-
from your framework.
More than happy to.
To my
more than-
community, I'll be happy to do that. Yes.
Yeah, more than happy to. Chris, let's get back into the timeline of things, right? So
Right.
again, 2000, 2001, where you found the insurance industry. I want to ask you about the next big crisis that I know of, which was financial crisis. The Great, Depression, 2008. Was that of any impact to you? Like during that season, because we talk about markets, everything crashed, right? Lehman Brothers and everything.
Yeah.
Now you're in the financial industry. Did
Right,
you
right.
how was that? Was that impactful or was that a non-event?
Honestly, during that period, I didn't really suffer, but typically, if you look at the market, right, whether you look at Joseph cycle, you look at the technicals, right, throughout the years of the last 200 years of stock market history, in general, especially in the recent 30, 40 years, right, every 3-4 years there's a minor recession.
Yep.
Every 7-10 years there's a major crisis.
Yes.
Right. So 2008, I think for people who are doing investment, wealth management, I realized there's a two school of people. And the one group of people, example, they are either highly educated, knowledgeable, like yourself, like Adam Khoo, etc., some of our friends, right? They actually know when to be fearful when others are greedy, and when to be greedy when others are fearful. So back then, I remember in 2008, I met up somebody who has been very well versed, regarded in the private banking world. I wasn't in that world back then, and they understand the market is actually overly bullish, and we're long overdue for a crisis. They in fact has news about the subprime market. But for a lot of the bankers, insurance agents, and financial planners, they don't have in-depth financial literacy, including me back then. I'm talking about back then. I already understand value investing. All right, One Up on Wall Street, Warren Buffett, Benjamin Graham. I've read it, and I had the head knowledge, but I didn't have the environment. I didn't have the enough practical experience to have those insights. So what happened is that these consumers who entrusted these bankers and agents would buy whatever funds they recommend. And nowadays it's all about Wall Street, right? It's all about profit, right? And these people, despite their good intention, didn't know better. Let's recommend whatever they were told by the investment consulting or the investment house, right? So when that hit, right, a lot of the clients' portfolio got wiped out 50 to 70%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and a lot of agents and bankers didn't dare to pick up the phone.
I see.
Yeah, and without a good mentor back then, it also it affected me mentally, emotionally. I felt bad. I felt I lost my clients' money and things like that. And even some friendship were lost because of that. And till today, I really wish I had a mentor to guide me.
I see.
And these days, the advisors that I mentor, I tell them, look, think long term. Help your clients in better asset allocation. All right. When the market goes up, don't take credit for it. So that when the market falls, you don't get blamed for it too.
Sure.
Right? Don't try to sell. You sell by returns, you'll die by returns, right?
I see.
Right. Even when Warren Buffett tell you that he doesn't know how to predict the market, what makes you think you and anyone else is smart enough to detect the market? Sure, there's some technical, there are entry exit strategy, sure, but nobody can 100% predict, right?
Sure.
So end of the day, it's still risk management, asset allocation, etc. So and from then, take a proactive approach to deal with people's money, all right? And instead of waiting for that phone call and reacting passively, proactively make those phone calls.
Bro, sorry, I just want to get back to something that you just said, which really, really hit me, right?
Which is?
If you sell by returns, you die by returns. So you sell by what then?
So to me, right, I think at the end of the day, we got to be clear that nobody will care about money more than us. Nobody should care about money more than us.
Yep.
Right? So end of the day, we can find advisors, we can find mentors, coaches, we can read. At the end of the day, we still have to be responsible for our decisions.
Yep.
Fair enough?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right? So which is why every individual person, in my opinion, they should educate themselves, even though they are not passionate. Like I'm not passionate in trading, but I need to know enough so that I can't be smoked.
Of course.
Right? I need to learn enough about AI. I need to learn enough about the tech so that as a techpreneur, I won't be smoked by my engineers. So things like we need, as entrepreneurs, business owner, we need to know enough. So that's the first step. And second thing is that to establish that investment philosophy first, the investment principle first, based on our unique personality, our unique risk propensity, our resources available, and our goals. I think that part has to come in first before we look at what to buy, what to invest in.
I see.
Yeah, but most people will jump right into, I heard the crypto is going up, no, Bitcoin, yes. You just jump into it without having that foundation.
I see.
Yeah, so with that, right, I think that's the first step. Second thing is that the people that you work with have to have the shared principle and philosophy. At the end of the day, it's a partnership. It's a partnership. So consumers who don't understand that, they'll be disappointed. Advisors who don't understand that, they will disappoint their clients. Yeah.
I see. Wow, amazing. Guys, I hope you guys are taking away plenty from this episode. I am learning so much. I'm loving this conversation. There's so much more we need to unpack, right?
Yeah.
So we'll get back to that in part 2 of this podcast. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe to the videos. I'll see you guys back for part 2. Welcome back to part 2 of our interview with the fabulous Chris Chan. So Chris, we talked about, the entire journey, right? And eventually, you managed to build your entire group up to, hitting 8 figures in revenue in Singapore dollars, right? Where, you've mentored so many people, helped so many other agents achieve success as well.
Yes.
Right? How was that like, and how do you get that breakthrough to that next level actually?
Well, interestingly, it's always like after you reach a certain milestone, you want to climb higher.
Sure, of
It's
course.
a natural process,
Definitely,
right?
definitely.
So I also realized that I spent my first 10 years focusing on selling, marketing, etc., and financial planning to be good in my work as a solopreneur. And then I spent the next 10 years looking at how on leadership, culture building, system, etc., to run a successful advisory group. So I asked myself a question when I hit that milestone of 10 million, right? I give myself a goal, either 100 advisors, 100 headcount, or 10 million, whichever comes first. So once I hit that in 2016, then I asked myself, how am I going to spend my next 10 years? And I realized that either aim for another 100 million or along that line, doing the same thing, or I focus on doing what I truly love. So I realized that in that journey, right, what I really love is not the day-to-day operation or managing people. What I really love actually is coaching, training, consulting. So I'm a teacher by nature, right? So from there I realized that look, why not I spend my next 10 years using the resources I have, the track record I have, to empower others to also become as good or even better. So since 17 I've been running my PPP Academy, doing that, and I think I have a lot of joy in that journey.
Awesome. So you're really truly doing what you love.
There you go. So technically, it's not a revenue. Actually, my revenue dropped. But am I happier? Actually, I'm happier. I feel more free. I don't have to have my RNF code and all those kind of stuff. Yeah. I don't have to deal with so much people issues. And I still have to deal with it, but much lesser. Yeah.
Much lesser. So just a bit more relaxed, but really focusing on what you truly love to do.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And also, so my this 10th year, I'm now on the 26th year in my working career. So apart from what I see for myself, right, is that two things. Number one, PPP Academy to help leaders and advisors to accelerate success to 7-8 figure net worth by being a better professional, better leader, a better investor. Of course, investor, I'm not the authority. I know enough to be a decent investor, but I hope I can lead them to masters like yourself and others who I've learned from. So that they too can shortcut their journey to building wealth through stocks, property, businesses, etc. And for me, actually, I also have a InsurTech in Malaysia, where I hope when I seek to build the Booking.com equivalent of the digital modularized insurance. So that we can cover millions across Asia. The mini Grab in my field. If that makes it, then it will be a 9-figure net worth. If it doesn't happen, then it will be a fun experience, which I pay for. So
you win or you learn, brother.
Yeah, exactly. To have fun, I think. To have fun, I think. To me, having fun is making a difference is what matters more.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that's great. Chris, I want to ask you something, right? So again, you're very humble, but we have a lot of investors who are watching, right? Our audience, we have a lot of people who are investors who are looking to, I want to cross my first 7 figures, I want to cross my first 8 figures.
Yes.
I want to build a proper portfolio, right? And you have advised many people who are extremely high net worth, right?
Like a mix from the masses,
from the masses all the way to high net worth and everything. What are some pillars that people need to be aware of to really build something that is sustainable and really properly long term?
Okay, to discover that, you have got unfortunately you go through a lot of mistakes, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, I think we probably have heard of this before, right? The first 100,000 is the most difficult for most people.
Okay.
Most people have never seen 100,000 in a bank account. Sad to say, that's the first hurdle that the most fail to cross. The key thing is, can anybody cross that? I believe so. By working hard, by hustling, doing an extra job, I think and by being thrifty, anybody can get there. I truly believe that. Now the next question is, what are you going to do from the 100,000 to reach that 1 million? Right? This personal belief, I think it's way easier for 100,000 to become a million than to get the first 100,000.
Wow.
Because think about it, right? When you bought the right, I remember you bought a landed property.
Yes.
So likewise, right? I believe that landed property has easily gone up by 1.52 million. Easily, right? Is it because you're super smart? I'm super smart? No, it's just that we have we happen to be able to make the decision with some educated mind. We have the resources to put down payment. We have the income to qualify for the bank loan. That's it. That's it. And we simply ride with the wave. I always say that the inflation bless those with assets. It punishes those without.
I see.
Right? So it is way easier to have a jump in your net worth by 1-2 million through investing than working hard, saving hard, and studying hard. That's why your life become very hard. Your hard life. Right. Yeah. So we must endure lah, but doesn't mean you have to experience long suffering. I never like the word long suffering.
Again, in essence, you're saying investing in assets, right? Assets, inflation blesses those with assets, right?
Yes.
So, like, what are the kind of assets people should be looking at, for example, in 2025?
Right. Of course, every expert in a certain asset class will tell you that's the best way, right?
Sure.
People who make money from property. Property is the way to go, right? But in my opinion, I think just like a football team, right? Every player has a function, right? So I kind of I didn't invent it, but kind of like refine it as a form of advisory concept for individual investors, right? Soccer analogy, right? Simplicity. In simple terms, there are like 11 players, right? Would you think about it, right? Would you put, in order to lose money, would you put all 11 players as goalkeeper? Would anybody do that? It's crazy. You may not lose, but you'll never win. Right? It's playing not to lose, which is a loser mentality, scarcity mindset, right? And should you also put all your players, 11 of them, as striker, so they can win aggressively? Neither would we, right? It's too risky. So at the end of the day, you have a coach. They were based on the player's profile, based on the timing of the game and the opponent. They will adjust the formation accordingly. It could be 4-4-2, 3-5-2, or whatever, right? So but technically, as an advisor, my role is that coach.
I see.
And the club belong to who? Belong to my clients.
I see.
Right? So, and based on what they have, I use this analogy. Goalkeeper, to me, is like your insurance. All right? It's to stop the life calamity from scoring against you. It's to protect your income, protect your assets. So, do you need a lot of insurances? No need. One good portfolio, that's all it takes. Right? And to me, I always believe in using the least amount of resources to get yourself properly covered. That's it. Because it's a cost.
Of course.
Everything else should be invested, in my personal opinion. Right?
Well, agents don't tell you this, huh?
Huh?
Agents don't tell you this.
Depends on who lah. Mentored by me one, they should.
They should.
Those who not, please come for training.
But it's amazing.
But it makes sense, right?
It's true.
We got to align our interest with the client. It's not us against the client. It's a partnership. So, but of course, if you're not rewarded in other asset classes, that's where you will be more focused on selling insurance. Right? I truly believe that the insurance agents will eventually become wealth managers. And I'm in fact doing my best in my academy, PPP Academy, to equip advisors to do so, to prevent them from being disrupted by the insurance portals, the AI driven apps, right? So we have the goalkeeper settled, and maybe with the emergency fund, like 3-6 months, etc., of your expenses. Then next you have your defense line, right? The back four, or the three defender. That will be your income pot. I call it capital preservation, right? It will be your bonds, your CPF. To some people who are less financially literate, they use endowments or retirement income product, right? So it depends on the profile of the person. So to some of us as seasoned investor, REITs, dividend-paying stock might be our defenders. But to a lot of people, it's high risk.
Sure.
Right? But to us, it's low risk because we know what we're doing, right? Yeah. So it really depends on the literacy of the person. But from the retail investor out there, generally that forms the defenders are like this instrument. It will not make you rich. It's designed to hedge against inflation, to give you stability and consistency in terms of passive income, cash flow. So that's the defense line. Then you got right at the top, strikers. So I will look at things like probably high growth stocks, tech stocks, etc. Right? Leveraged properties. I want to highlight this. Non-leveraged property does not qualify as an attacker these days. Most people think, Chris, what are you talking about? I make my money from properties, right? So if you want to do your own research, exercise your own independent thinking, right? Look at the URA track record of residential property, etc. You compare that with Singapore STI, compare with global stocks, right? stocks always outperform properties. They are fully paid. The only reason why we make good money from properties is the leverage. But having said that, can you also use some form of leverage through options, etc.? In stocks, you can, but generally we don't want to take loan against stocks. There's something that I advise against, right? So, so leverage properties can also achieve that. Of course, you got the tools like alternative investment and stuff like that, land, whatsoever. So these are the strikers.
I see.
Angel investing, private equity. I understand that you invested in one. So those are what we call the strikers. Then of course, what's in between, it all depends on the mixture of. Some people use ETF, some people use managed funds, etc. So
today, what would you say is your investing style? After gone through today at your age, how would you describe your investing philosophy?
So to me, is that the number one thing is that I took care of my insurance at a very young age.
Okay.
Obviously, because I was in this industry, right? So I told myself, right, in order for me to focus in the front, I need to make sure my back is taken care of. I asked myself, what's the worst case scenario, right? I always say that we have no control of the length of our life. We don't know when we'll be taken away, but we absolutely control the height of our achievement and our being, our depth of character. So with that, I make sure that if I die anytime, I don't have to regret. I fulfill my responsibility even beyond my death. So that's where insurance come in, and I put it into a trust so that I still have control from heaven. Right? I always joke about it, right? So I make sure my mom have a stream of income, home fully paid. My wife have a stream of income, fully paid. Home fully paid. Enough for her to have a good life, not enough for her to have a gigolo. The last thing I want, right? Bloody hell, you sleep my wife, never mind, no. Still use my money, Right? So at least with the trust, I can have some control. Right. So that's the baseline. That's the baseline, right? So then I know one thing for sure. Once I'm alive, as long as I'm able, right, I'll never worry about my future. Because I know I'm able to generate income. Right, so take care of the bag. So then next thing, defensively, I will use REITs, dividends paying stocks. And now I'm actually building a portfolio of short-term rental properties, particularly in Japan.
Nice.
Why? Because from my observation, Japan is a highly loved destination, especially to Asians, to the Caucasian, the Angmos, right? It's like a bucket list. It's somehow you have to go to the land of the rising sun. Somehow for them, right? It's exotic, So the number of international visitors have grown will grow from 30 plus million today, projected to 60 million by 2030.
Wow.
And Japan has gone through close to 30 years of stagflation. And the property prices as a first world metropolitan city is about only 1/3 to half compared to Singapore, Hong Kong, Paris, London. No joke. No, I've done my research. I mean, we are research driven. So of course some places are already quite high in terms of the barrier to entry. So I will aim for those places where you can still find undervalued properties and have a pretty high yield of about 12 to 18% return a year net, excluding capital appreciation. But don't my opinion, the appreciation in Japan is unlikely to match anything near Singapore, except for some locations.
Is that because of the size of the entire place?
Because Japan is going through depopulation. And so that's the first thing, and they have a lot of empty houses we call Akiya, like 8.5 million. It's projected to be even more. But of course Tokyo is different. Everybody is moving away from the suburb towards either Tokyo or the greater Tokyo, like Chiba, Saitama, Yokohama, etc. So certain places will still experience capital gain, in my view, moderate capital gain, but most of the parts of Japan, you are not likely to see capital appreciation. And properties there is unlike Singapore. It's more like US. The land appreciates gradually in most places. At best, the building always depreciates. So if you don't understand how to use the tax law to your advantage, etc., most people are likely to lose money more than making money.
I see.
But that's another topic for another day, man.
Okay. Interesting. So this is your next phase,
This is income focus now. Like two of my industrial properties, they're giving me about 10 to 14% return a year. when I share with some of our friends who are like experts in
Yeah,
properties, that
yeah.
wow, she pay home, brother.
Yeah.
So they say that this is really good returns,
Ah.
right? Yeah, but again, the capital gain is limited. So this is my income play.
I see.
Then the middle tier will be value play.
Yeah.
So it's like in my personal opinion, again, I'm not giving advice. I'm not qualified. It's like some China stocks have been battered for a long time. They have a strong moat. They have a good free cash flow.
Yeah.
But because of the environment, political situation, their share price have dropped quite a lot, right? I mean, I believe there's value in these companies, and despite the current political tension, right, the tariffs, I believe it's time that these companies will rise again. It's a value play. Then of course there's growth play as well. Yeah.
Amazing. So much to learn, bro. Thank you so much for sharing. Brother, unfortunately, come to an end, right? I have one question, right, to end off the entire session. I have one question, maybe two questions, right? So maybe to somebody who's aspiring to come to the financial industry, right? And they, they're thinking, they're not sure, should I do this, should I not do this, for example, what is one advice you give them?
One advice. I think first thing first, you got to ask yourself what's your intent. The first thing, your intent in joining this career or being in this career, right? I think there's a lot of, number one is that what I love about this industry, while you'll never be a billionaire in this industry, it allows you to be well educated in people management, selling, influence, right? It also equip you to have good financial education, right? In order to educate others, you better be educated yourself.
Absolutely.
So these two, if you ask me, right, is form the foundation of becoming a decent investor and a decent entrepreneur.
I see.
Right? And you're being paid to learn.
Yep.
It's not a bad idea.
Wow.
And that's why I've seen a lot of business owners, they were once insurance agent before or financial planner before. And now they're doing like 8-figure, even 9-figure, right? So if you ask me that if you are in this industry, you are joining this industry, enjoy the journey and do as much good as possible to yourself and to others, right? And we don't know when, how long that journey is going to be, but enjoy the journey and it will surely equip you for your next chapter of your life, if that day comes.
Oh, bro, sign me up, man. Bro, can I ask you a question? Can people, who are aspiring maybe, can they join you? As in, is that something that you still have, like,
Oh no,
agency?
I retired in 2017. I work with a lot of good agency leaders that I personally have worked, I trust, and they have good leadership. They have good culture, and they also use my system as well to help their people do well. Yeah. So of course, if those of you who want to connect with me, they can always follow me in IG, LinkedIn, Chris Chan Life, not Live. I'm Chris, not Christ. Yeah. Yes. LIB. Yes.
Chris Chan live, right? So make sure you follow him, guys. Again, absolutely incredible guy. Make sure you get his books as well. Can they get your books?
Oh yeah, you can always connect with connect with me online, and I'm sure my team member can assist accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So guys, make sure you follow him. I don't know about you, but I've absolutely enjoyed the conversation. I've learned so much. Thank you very much, guys. Make sure you like, you subscribe. If you have any questions, Chris, lock it down in the comment section below. Till next time,
Yes.
bye-bye.
Bye. Don't forget to like and share.
Hey guys, I'm so blessed to be able to share these inspiring stories of remarkable people with you. Please support us by liking, commenting, and subscribing to our YouTube channel, right? These likes will help us know what videos you want to watch more of. So again, thank you and see you in another video.